Welcome to this little video introducing the new custom code system that is going to be rolling out over the next few days. So just quickly, the reason that we need this new system is that we historically haven't been very good at a few things that we've needed to do with custom code, like for example the Facebook pixel, Facebook's little pixel tracking code. In the old platform, we used to chuck that in the extra analytics code field that you probably remember. In the new platform, we haven't really had a good place to put that at all, so I've had to come up with a few hacky workarounds to get that included in our pages. So now we have a system to do that, and we also have streamlined a few other bits and pieces that we need code for from time to time. So I'll just quickly walk you through it. It's in Site Center and Design Options, and we'll now have this new Custom Code button. So the idea is that every piece of custom code will be a separate object, a separate record. You can add as many as you want. So what we'll do is we'll just add a new one. We have none at the moment. We'll just add a new one. So firstly, every piece of custom code has a name, and that should just be describing what it is. So for this one, I'm just going to walk through doing the Meta / Facebook pixel. So I'll call it Meta pixel. Now, the language. So we have a few options here: HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and SCSS. Now, I've actually got the Meta Pixel tab open here. This one's a little bit confusing. The page says the pixel code is a snippet of JavaScript, and that's kind of only partly true. It's actually HTML, technically. See the script tag here? That's HTML. There is JavaScript inside it, of course, but technically this code is HTML. So for that, we need to use the HTML language option there. So I'll click on copy code, and I will just chuck it in here. I'll talk you through these other bits and pieces as well. Actually, I'll do that now, shall I? So we have this other option, code position. When you are looking at including a snippet of code on a page, the documentation for the snippet usually tells you where it should go, and there's usually two options. One is inside the head. In fact, Facebook's little documentation here tells us to paste the pixel code into the bottom of the header section just above the head tag. Install the base code on every page of your website. So that's what we're going to do, and we do that by choosing the inside head option. The other option is at the end of body, and really you should just be reading the documentation of whatever snippet you're installing. We do have a brief little bit of documentation when you hover over the code position label, and it tells you what these do, or will, the effect of the two different options. So have a read through that if you're interested, but generally speaking, just do what the documentation tells you to do. Then we have these two options here, code applies to. So this is basically where you specify which pages you want the code to be on. If you want it to be on all pages, just leave it as the default and it will be all. If you only want it on some pages, this is my demo site, by the way, so I only have a handful of pages. If you only want it on some pages, you can just select, you need to deselect all first. You can just select, say, the home page. If you've selected a page, it doesn't really make sense to also select a template, because obviously a page specifies a template. So that's why we grey that option out. If you do want to specify a template, you just choose the templates that you want to specify, and all pages that use those templates, whether it be via a master page or the page directly itself, will include this code. So I'll just put that back to all for now, and then we get to the actual code. I've already pasted this in because I was on the Facebook page, and I grabbed it. You can see there are a couple of little validation errors here. At the moment, the system is telling you about these errors, but it's ignoring them. And it's ignoring them because usually they're not really a problem. You might be aware of like HTML validators that our clients sometimes run their websites through and complain about errors. It's basically doing that. It will tell you about small things, but it will also tell you about big things. So maybe if something's not working, have a look at these errors and they might give you a clue as to what's going on. In this situation, it's just this silly little, these are technically supposed to be like that. Oh, what else doesn't it like? I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Like I said, we just treat them as warnings rather than errors. So we'll save that. And then on our home page, if I reload it and view the source, we should see our Facebook Meta Pixel code in there. And it works nicely. Cool. So that hopefully is pretty straightforward. I'll delete that. We'll add a new one. We'll add some JavaScript. Now, this is for, there's a few reasons we might want JavaScript. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. It doesn't really matter. Test. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little alert. Hello. Now, for code position, when you're dealing with JavaScript, we have different options, ready and load. Again, the code position tells you what these two options do. Basically, the difference is ready doesn't wait for all resources on the page to finish loading. Resources are mostly images. That's the main resource that's going to take time. The load event waits for everything on the page to finish loading completely, and then it runs the code. So again, it really depends on what you're trying to do. If there's some documentation from the codes provider, then read that, try to figure out which is going to be the best option. But for now, we'll just choose ready, and we'll save it. When I reload the page, I should see hello, and indeed I do. So I'll get rid of that. Cool. And then the next one is CSS or SCSS. So in case you're not aware, SCSS is kind of a souped up version of CSS. It's it has a few extra features that are helpful, like nesting and variables, other bits and pieces. So we'll just go test SCSS. Now there's no code position field for CSS or SCSS because it just doesn't really make sense. The code is applied to the page. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Same code applies to rules. So what we'll do is we'll go, I don't know, sector, and then we'll just do some nesting just to demonstrate that it is SCSS and not just CSS. I don't know, 1 pixel solid red. We'll give everything a nice red border. Beautiful. Okay, cool. And we'll delete that. And it disappears. Cool. So that's basically the run through of the custom code. Now, the previous ways that we had to do custom code will be gone. So previously we had custom SCSS in the template. That's no longer there. And we also had site-wide custom SCSS in the site settings. We had it down here somewhere. That's also gone. Those will both be automatically migrated to the new system, so you won't need to do anything. But going forward, we will need to use this new system for all site-wide custom CSS and page-specific CSS. We should not be putting code into raw text blocks if that code applies to multiple pages. If there is code that needs to be in a raw text block because it needs to be in that specific part of the page, then that's fine. We still use raw text blocks for that. That's no problem. But if there is code that is, I guess, not display in nature, it doesn't display anything like you know, like a Facebook pixel code or any analytics tracking code or any JavaScript that deals with the nav menu or anything else, that should be done using the new custom code system from now on. So this new system will be rolling out this week, possibly tomorrow, and I'll send around another email to let everyone know that it is live. If there are any questions, concerns, comments in the meantime, please let me know and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.